It's called Shibari, a Japanese word that means rope. Of like, what the heck did I put myself into? I'm gonna die. This is crazy. I'm crazy. I'm gonna die now. This guy will gonna kill me already. Like, polyamory means like love for many. Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to the part 2 of my sexual awakening journey. In my previous video, I shared already the first two. First one is when I first get introduced to masturbation and how it really opens me up to the idea of, pleasure is within reach. You can have it with you. You can access it by yourself. And then the second part of my sexual awakening journey is when I read a novel about swinger couple and got introduced to the idea that there's different type of relationship out there. There's really no right or wrong way of having a relationship. It's just a matter of what feels good and what feels aligned for you. So now in this video, I want to share the third and the last sexual awakening journey up to this present moment that I've experienced. And again, I know that this is a very what do you call this? A sensitive topic to dive deep on, especially for me as a Filipina, and I'm sharing this out in the public for my fellow Filipinos, family to even watch. And I am aware of that, and I open all comments, backlash, and even some resistance to this topic that I'm talking about. But I have a very strong passion towards really normalizing the topic of sexuality. That's why even though there's those risks and potential of scrutiny, I'm allowing that. I am ready for that because my belief is really, we are born in sex and why. And I really would love to normalize the topic of sex because there's so many golden wisdom and really a way for us to grow as an individual. This is a path of growth, learning about your own self and being able to connect with everyone as well. So my only hope is for all of you to be hopefully gentle in your comments as you engage in this video, and I invite you to have an open mind. Maybe this is something that will trigger some ideas in you, and I can understand that, but just keep an open mind and be curious. This is my experience, and for those of you who can resonate, I'd love to hear how do you resonate and relate with my story as well. So the third sexual awakening that I've experienced was when I was tied up. It's called Shibari, a Japanese word that means rope, the art of tying rope. So I met this guy in Tinder, a Japanese guy in Tinder, and it was our first meet up, and he let me take a test, and that was like a BDSM self-assessment, and the result is like I'm 100% switch. I can be dominant and submissive, but I'm also 75% rope bunny. That means I would enjoy being tied up. And he told me that, I have ropes I actually do Shibari, and I have ropes in my condo. And me, who is a curious soul, who is in a phase of just exploring and experimenting, being already open to the idea that, there's different types of relationship, and there's different types of kinks and play. And so when I was introduced to this, I didn't hesitate to I want to try it. Let's go to your place without much thinking. And so I went to his condo, and he asked me to wear a long sleeve. His condo is in the 25th floor, and he asked me to wear a long sleeve so that when he ties me up, I don't get a rope marks. And people, my family might panic of what happened to me. And when I was completely tied up, that's when my brain works of like, what the heck did I put myself into? This man is a complete stranger. I'm gonna die. Like my fight or flight response just kicks in, and then I felt defeated and really just scared because there's no way I can fight. I'm completely from here to my feet, just like completely tied up. And I actually shared some of the photos of me being tied up in my Patreon. So if you're curious enough to view it, feel free to be one of my Patreon member and look for those. Some of the photos are very beautiful, but yeah. Anyway, going back to the story, so at some point in that experience, I just realized there's no way for me to get out of this experience. I put myself in here. This is crazy. I'm crazy. I just have to let go. I just have to surrender. I just have to give in. There's really no hope. There's really no way for me to get out here anyway. So I decided to just like accept that I'm in this situation now, and even accept death. I was really in that idea of, I'm gonna die now. This guy will gonna kill me already. Like there's no way I will be able to fight back. And when I decided to just completely let go and surrender, now that's when the feeling of like lightness, from being so tense and scared to like, oh, so light. Like whatever happens to me, I'm all in for it, and I'm okay, and I accept my fate already. And that's when, and so he was also trying to talk to me like, you'll be fine. I won't do anything to you. The guards saw you. There's camera. Like, I'm not crazy like that. So I started to feel calm. And just to make the story short, because I think I also created a separate video about my Shibari experience, and you can watch it to get a more glimpse. That experience really just, I can open up my mind to like, wow, this being tied up really allows me to completely and fully surrender. And I even felt like bliss in that moment where the ropes, when I stop resisting it, just feels like I'm being hugged, I'm being cuddled. It's so good. And like just trusting the person and just letting the person lead and guide and take care of me was such a good feeling. It feels therapeutic, blissful. Those are the words that I would use to express just to express the experience. It was crazy, and my body just, I was so sensitive. My senses just heightened. I can hear, I feel like I was so aware in that moment of every little details of the experience. That was so crazy and amazing. And after that experience, I realized like, wow, what else is out there? Why do people engage in this kind of experiences? Like, is it because they're able to reclaim those sense of the feeling of freedom, of letting go, of just surrendering? And how can I translate this into the real world, into my life? And it was so useful. I'm reminded of sometimes we want to control things and we're so attached to things, and it creates so much anxiety and fear. But if we just learn to trust, to let go, and to surrender, what a lift, what a burden that's just being lifted out of you. So that's when I started seeing sexuality as actually a place of reclaiming those lost inner wisdom and trust within yourself. And also, that was the place for healing for me. Like, just healing my inner child, whatever traumas that I have, all the shame and guilt that I associated around sex. Like when I engage into sexual activity, sexual play, I really put my whole presence to it, my whole, very conscious and aware, and it really helped me, just again tune in and realize that there's parts of me that there's this wounded version of me that actually can be healed in that type of activity. Like now as an adult, I can go back to that playful Gladys in engaging in a sexual play, just being playful with my lover. I can be the Gladys who don't have to take control all the time and can just be the submissive person. Or I can be this Gladys who are not dependent on someone or who just let other people decide for me. I can play in my dominant role and actually be the one to take care of my lover because I can, and I have that ability, I have that power within me, and I can share that. And in the sexual realm is where you can actually practice and play and touch on those ability that we all have. And yeah, that's one of the most peak and up until now one of the best experience that I ever had. It was just amazing. And lastly is me being in an open relationship, like really engaging, not just learning and meeting people, but being in it. I have made a series, I think 4-series video where I also invited my partner Eli to talk about the whole experience of open relationship. And for me, this space, this relationship that we've built and choosing it to be open is really a place, a space for growth and learning for me, because every time that we go through a challenging moment, every time we get triggered because we are bringing in monogamous alone, just the two of you alone is already complicated enough. How much more if you bring in other people as well? But all of those challenging moments are actually opportunities. We see it as opportunities for us to learn. Like, okay, why am I not communicating here when I should communicate? And also this Filipino woman that I actually talked to, she shared about the word polyamory. Polyamory means like love for many. And the ethical polyamory is really that there's no one person that can satisfy all your needs. And it's so true. First, the love for many concept is like, we love so many people. We love our parents, our kids, our partner, friends. And yet, why are we expecting only one person to, like when we get into a relationship, most of the time we're just hoping for that one person to meet all our needs. And so the polyamory concept actually shares that you can, have all those needs met by other people, even outside your relationship, and it's okay, it's accepted. Now, in my open relationship, it's quite different because it's more hierarchical, where I can have multiple lovers outside my relationship, but Eli, my partner, is my top priority. And there's also this consent and making sure that we just respect for each other is very high as well, that when we both decided to go meet other people, and at some point if one of us feel uncomfortable with a situation, that it's safe to say it, like, hey babe, I'm uncomfortable, is it okay if you come home now? Like, and for the other person to just receive it and to understand and to respect it, and like respectfully leave the date that you have and actually prioritize your partner and prioritize what they feel. So that's how we interact, that's how we work the open relationship that we have with me and Eli, is that first is me and him is a top priority in the relationship. The other people is like complementary, but for me, I take care and nourish all those other relationships that I have, and even they're long terms, like even same same length as Eli, 3 years, 2 years, and I try to really nurture it. And even if it doesn't, if they have their own separate relationship, and if they're monogamous, or respect that, and we're still keep engaged, we're still friends. And there's so many things. I'm still in an open relationship for 3 years down the line of this type of relationship. I'm not saying it's easy. It's freaking hard, but there's so much learning and lesson. I've grown so much, and I think the best part is I have a partner who I can share openly everything that I'm feeling and that I'm experiencing. If I feel attracted to someone, I can share it with him, and if I feel uncomfortable with with the experience or with whoever he met, I can openly tell that, and we can talk about it. Like, why is it uncomfortable? Why do you want that kind of experience? Why do you want to meet that person? And then you'll be able to go deep down of what's really the need, what's the want that you're longing for. And yeah, the open relationship is where I'm at, and I think it's the place where openness, vulnerability, courage, and really deep exploration of learning and growth is being nourished, and it's being explored. And I'm so happy and I'm so grateful that I've attracted my partner, Eli. And I've said this before that, just him existing in this world is a blessing, and what a wonderful blessing and a gift for me to actually have attracted him in my life. And I guess I will end this video in that note. And I'm so curious how listening in this story, listening in my story, in my share, what felt alive in you, or how did it make you feel? What are the thoughts and the feeling that came out? I'm curious if you can share that in the comment section below. If this topic triggers you, why did it triggers you? And again, this is a very sensitive topic, and I can understand if this is something that doesn't sit right with you or doesn't align with you. I respect that. My only request is to please gently express whatever it is that you're feeling, or your perspective and point of view, in contrast to what I believe, what I practice. So let's just have that gentle conversation in the chat. And for those of you who are interested in exploring relationship and sexuality, or having some challenging, or in a challenging situation right now, I am very much willing to support and guide you. I do one-on-one coaching. I have programs as well that I offer. So if you're interested, just feel free to email me at gladysonlove@gmail.com. Thank you again, everyone, and have a beautiful day. Mwah.